Okay, Jim, it's live.
Oh, okay, good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tuesday Rotary Show. Would everyone please rise in performance as the Grand Funk Rotary Choir under the direction of our Ellen Burns. What page?
Recording in progress.
Tina, turn one of yours off. Turn one of yours off.
Preliminary. Baron Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben
She was on
arrives at the Continental at Valley Forge. The ragtag army is the fundamentals of professional military order and discipline. He is credited with being one of the fathers of the United States Army. Is anyone here a veteran? There we go.
1 week.
Honor you guys today. 245 years after von Steuben arrived and got the guys in shape. Okay. So the Army song on page 22. For the middle of the nation's fight and the Army. Fighting to the battles won, and the Army was following along. The Army started its way. Breaking the silent strong.
That's great.
And gentlemen, join in prayer or meditation as you choose. As I say, bless this food to our use and us to thy service. Amen. The buffet is open, guests and ladies first.
Need to start in the opposite direction.
Right. We're starting again.
Signing the up.
Flipped it around. Very good, Jack.
Hello, everyone.
Looking for our mild-mannered former president turns out to have been an all-pro skydiver as part of his career.
Master is attorney.
A master skydiver. So we're going to hear more about that a little bit later. But let's start with some happy dollars. Who's happy today? Joe.
I am happy because I got cleared. I can take my trip down the Danube in 2 weeks.
Down to Danube.
I am $20 happy.
Oh,
Happy.
That's excellent.
When is that, in 2 weeks?
I'm leaving on March 12th.
Okay, so the winter should be pretty well gone by then.
Okay.
Yeah. Good
You
enough.
mean here?
Yeah, well,
Who's happy? Who's else had some happy dollars?
I'm happy. I'm $10 happy. Had a wonderful trip to Panama last week. The only bad thing is that the plane from the final leg of the trip back from Miami to here was delayed by a couple hours, so we got back in the middle of the night. But my niece down there had planned just a great trip. We went up into the mountains and spent a couple of days up there. Spent a couple of days at the shore, a wonderful beach, and on the Pacific side. And our granddaughter Josie was just far exceeded any expectations we could have had as far as how good a traveler she was. She never, the only time she ever got cranky was at about 3:30 AM on the night we came back.
I don't blame
So,
her.
otherwise, it was just perfect.
She's about what, 7 or 8 years old?
Six.
Oh,
Six.
Six.
I'm gonna put in $10. $5 for Libby, who not only made the cookies, and I'm gonna, these very nice cookies, I'm gonna pass these around one more time. Would you please let that make the, nope, you take it and you pass it. There you go. Also $5 for Stan, who was kind enough to help at the Habitat Happy event on Friday night. Yes?
I would have been with you, but
You were
Stanley and
there.
I came on Thursday. Yes. Stanley said it's Thursday. And 4 other Rotarians will be there. And
What about you?
That was just a practice run.
yeah, I was.
There you go, there you go. All right. Bravo, bravo. All right, any happy dollars? We're money for the community, folks, out. All right. We have some announcements. Let's see here. First of all, Libby.
Okay. So one of the reasons why I made the cookies is because I'm all proud of you and I wanted to thank you. As of today, we have for the month of February, 108 pounds of plastic film. At this rate, we'll be done a month, more than a month ahead of the deadline, which is July 3rd. And then all this adding, I bet what I've got in my cart and that will give us another 25 pounds. So we'll just keep trucking along.
Oh, very good. Thank you for organizing all that. Yes.
I want to remind everyone
I'll
that
have
at
to wait.
2 o'clock today at the central office, that's on Young Street. I sent out a note. If you don't know where it is, turn left at the Barrier Island Center and keep going until you see 2 buildings. And it's a building on the left. And Ken will be there to greet us.
Good.
That's
And
where,
this is
that's where
for-
Ken works.
Oh. Yeah. Really? Oh, I didn't know. I thought, so you're not with the town of the city anymore.
Both.
You're both with them. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. All right then. Very good. All right, and this is to put labels on.
Labels in the books.
Good. And what's the name of the book this year? This spring? Oh, okay.
Elroy the musician.
Okay. What?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, something like
Uh,
that.
So I'm gonna put on my Cape Charles Main Street hat
Get up front.
and we need volunteers. One of our big projects is the train, the single train car that's down past between Strawberry Street, right by Strawberry Street Plaza. Kind of right behind the distillery. And it's gonna get ready to be buried down, and it's gonna do a lot of sheet metal work on it, a lot of work. But once that's finished, it's got to be painted. And so I'm asking 2 things. I'm going to ask for volunteers, just see if somebody would be interested, just like the caboose, if they would raise their hand that they could help out on painting the car.
You have to get on a ladder.
Well, somebody's going to have to get on a ladder to get up there, but we can also try to see if we can get some scaffolding. Okay. And then the second part of that would be to see if the Rotary Club would donate the paint. So that's something for the board.
yeah, that's fine.
So I
That's
just
fine.
throw it out there. It's not going to happen until the springtime,
Right.
or maybe even late spring, but that's the
Oh, well,
that's the
that's
intent.
good. So we'll just paint the caboose next month, and then we'll paint the other one the following. I think it sounds good.
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Well, club does need the help. So in some way.
That's gonna be the showcase for the town. It's gonna eventually have storyboards around it, showing the history of the train. Right next to the new welcome center that's gonna be coming there, welcome center / bathrooms.
The welcome center will be behind where the current bathroom is.
Gonna be, no, it's gonna be right next to the train. Right north or west of the train.
Towards the hump.
That's east.
Sorry.
That would be towards the bay.
Okay.
That's east.
Any other announcements?
Oh, you're right.
I think it's time then for Queen of Hearts. So anyone who's got some cards, please hold up your high card. We got Jack of Spades here.
Oh, ace,
Card. Come on out, Walter. Congratulations. You won. How much did he win?
Oh, I don't know.
That
How much
much.
we saying here? 32.
Yep.
So he wins $8. $8. One,
Thank you.
two,
You could buy,
three.
you could buy a
plus.
dozen eggs.
The jackpot's up to about $80 now.
Whoa.
So
And we probably.
here is
told-
your eight.
probably-
Yeah.
5 dozen eggs.
All right.
Take a card, Walter, you get to buy beer.
A 6.
Wow.
Sorry, Walter.
You can tear it up.
Hey. It is my pleasure to turn the floor over to Chuck Huber and his tale of parachuting daring do.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. Just a quick background. I was that stupid kid that when somebody said, "I dare you," or worse yet, "I double dare you to do something."
Triple double.
Yeah, that, I couldn't turn those down. I remember as a kid dreaming of flying. I mean, not with a plane, but just flying. And I still do today. I'll dream of actually floating in the air. And my mother hated it because she did laundry and we had clotheslines in the back. And I'd go out and grab a sheet. And we were in a 3-story row in Baltimore. And I'd grab a sheet off the line and go up the back steps to the back door, climb up on the railing. And there was a concrete patio below, and I'd take the sheet and hold it out like this and jump off the porch and slam into the patio.
Were you taller than?
But that's how stupid I was. All right, so that kind of led to July of '87 and me saying, I'm gonna go up and make a skydive. And so I signed up for first jump course in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, called Accelerated Free Fall East. And just had this discussion with the table. Accelerated free fall is a method of training. There's static line and there's accelerated free fall. Static line was you get in a plane, you jump out, and there's a line that attaches to you to pull your parachute out and you land. That can take almost 30 jumps to come off student status. And when you come off of student status, you still never jumped with another person. Accelerated free fall is a 7-level program. You could conceivably pass each level and come off of student status in 7 jumps. And you jump with other people on every single jump, your jump masters. So that's the course I took. We were one of 2 drop zones that taught it that way. So it was new. And this was in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, sort of central Pennsylvania. If you don't know anything about Chambersburg, what they are famous for was General Lee stopped in town on his way to Gettysburg and burned the shoe factory down and stole all the shoes and then went on to Gettysburg. So they're very proud of that fact. All right, so once you come off of student status, by the time you make 50 jumps, you can qualify for your first license, the A license. There's an A, B, C, and the D license is your highest license. You have to do certain criteria in your jumps. For example, to get a C license, you have to do a water jump. So you actually have to jump and land in the water, or you can simulate it by going down to the local Y, wearing your parachute and having somebody throw you in the deep end of the pool with your parachute. And that did qualify you for a C license. D license is the highest you can get. And that requires a minimum of 200 jumps. Each license has an exam associated with it. 2 years later, 1989, after I came off student status, I was real interested in becoming a jump master. So I worked with some of the local jump masters up in Chambersburg, and I paid for their jumps to take me up and show me what people are going to do to me if I'm a student wanting to become a jump master. And of course, they acted like a student, so they'd go up there and flop over and bend around. And they had a fake ripcord that you had to pull if they didn't pull it. So of course, they never pulled it. So part of being a jump master, you'll see in the videos, you're right there with the ripcord. So if the student has any issues, forgets to pull, whatever, the jump master can pull you. But they give you nightmare when you're training, they give you nightmare scenarios, the worst student that you could ever believe, and you better be able to pull the ripcord for them. So that was my training. We got to the summer of 1989, and the jump master training school is 8 days long. So you have 3 days of classroom and then 5 days of jumping. You're going to make 6 jumps, and that's the maximum you can make, and you need to score 12 points to qualify for your jump master rating. And the scoring was 0 to 4. 0, if most of the time what that meant is they didn't pull the ripcord, the trainer, and you didn't either as the candidate jump master, so you get a 0.
It means someone died.
Yeah. So 2 was your passing, 3 was your passing, you did a damn good job. 4 was you did perfect. They gave you a nightmare jump and you just did perfect. Well, I qualified in 5 jumps. So I made my 12 points in 5. I didn't have to make the 6th jump. And to give you some insight of the pass rate, around 30%. So all those people taking the course for those 8 days, out of that, only about 3 out of 10 are actually going to pass. So it is, I've told Jim this. Honestly, it's one of the hardest things I ever did. It was just so nerve-wracking, traumatic, and because the trainers give you nightmare scenarios all along the way, and they act like the dumbest students you could possibly ever get stuck with. So it was a very stressful thing to go through, but I made it.
So can you give an example of what of the nightmare?
Yeah, well, the exit, so up, down, go, you go, and you're supposed to arch. Well, if the student does.
Slowly. What is
Yeah.
this? Up, down, go.
That's the countdown. So you'll see when I show you the first video, student climbs out, gets out there, he checks in with the reserve side jumping in, forgets to go, okay, checks out, okay, and then up, down. So arch, 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 arch. Well, if they don't arch, you're gonna flip all around, you're gonna throw the jump masters off, at least one of them. That's your nightmare scenario. So the idea is at least one jump master keep hanging on so he can pull the ripcord, he or she. Yes, there are many women jump masters. So
Chuck,
yeah,
are you separate? If a student jumps out and
no, we have a hold of him. We have his leg strapped and his shoulder,
oh, okay.
his shoulder grip. So you'll see that in the coming video here. So the next year, 1990, I wanted to become an instructor. That's the next level up. So I started working with instructors in the classroom training part. Classrooms are usually about 6 hours long, training first jump students. And that's the only time you have to take classroom The other 6 levels, levels 2 through 7, there's no classroom part. You got all that when you did your first jump. So I worked with jump masters, helping them train students and so forth, and me at the same time learning how to become an instructor. Then I took my test in 1990 and I became an instructor. About 3 years later, I hooked up with USPA, United States Parachute Association, and I wanted to become a jump master trainer. So they're called the USPA Jump Master Evaluators. So I qualified for that and then started doing jump master training around the country. I mentioned the bill, jumps back then, just to give you an idea. It was $1 1,000 foot plus $2. So you go to 10,000 feet, it was $12. And I'm betting today it's at least double that because of fuel prices. So it was relatively cheap. And like I told Bill, the big joke was the skydive is free. You don't pay anything for that. You pay for the ride up. But the skydive part, that's free. In 1992, we had Russians come over. This was after the fall of communism in Russia. We had 5 Russians come over and spend a couple of months in Chambersburg with us to learn about skydiving operations. They were skydivers. They knew how to skydive, but because Russia was communist, the Russian government ran all businesses. They didn't know how to run a skydiving business. They didn't know how to organize and run a first jump course and training programs. So they came over and learned that with us, and we worked with them closely. After they went back, a couple of weeks later, we got an invite for 4 of us to come over to Russia. So the owner of the drop zone in Chambersburg, Al Gramando, asked me if I'd like to come with him, and I said sure. So me, one other jump master, Al and his wife Kristen, we went in August, September for 3 weeks over to Russia in St. Petersburg. And we worked with them for almost 4 weeks, a little under 3 weeks, in organizing their program and also the nuts and bolts of money and so forth and how to run a business over there. And of course, we got a lot of jumps in. So it was a lot of fun. And I'll tell you this, the last day we were there, we were staying at an in-tourist hotel. Al was career Army. He was Army Ranger. So he owned the drop zone in Chambersburg. But we were all sitting down having breakfast. And we all kind of said it almost at the same time. You know what? What were we afraid of all these years? These people, these Russian people, they're wonderful people. They really are. They were terrific people. They're funny. We had a real good time over there. And I'll tell you, before we went, we felt a little trepidation going over there, wondering, are they going to let us come home or what, But it was a wonderful trip, wonderful people. And I sure hope we can get things settled down here today with Russia. We got one person there that's causing problems. But believe me, the mass of people in Russia, they're very nice people. I won many awards. These are my logbook. So we would log every single jump. I would miss some because I was jumping students. So I know I probably missed at least a couple hundred. I made a little over 2,000 jumps during my skydiving career. I got many awards. I'm not going to pass these all around, but these are Falcon Awards, Double Eagle Awards, and some competition awards. A real good friend of mine, his name was Richard Lockman. He was a jump master up there. He was a fellow Baltimorean. He and I became real good, close friends. And one night in 1992, he asked me, hey, him and 2 other jumpers were going up to Carlisle, just north of Chambersburg, to get some dinner and stuff. He said, you want to go with us? I said, nah, I'm going to hang around the drop zone, drink a beer or 2, and just kick back and relax a little bit. Well, I got up the next morning. People were just kind of sitting around moping, real sad and so forth. And someone flagged me down. I said, what's going on? And they said Richard was killed in a car accident last night. So it really floored me. They were in a car accident coming back from Carlisle, head-on collision. Richard didn't have a seatbelt on. The other two guys did, and they were okay. And he went through the windshield of the car. That really floored me. 2 years later, in '94, Al Ramondo, the drop zone owner, he created the Lockman Award in his honor. And I was fortunate enough to earn the very first one.
Instructor of the year.
Swing it around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pass around. That's all right.
In 1995, another good friend of mine, Ches Judy. He lived in Northern Virginia too, interned in right where I lived. He was an Army veteran and he was in his 50s. And he jumped mostly at Chambersburg, but occasionally he would jump over here across the bay in what's called West Point. And in 1995, he was in a plane, King Air, carried 10 jumpers, took off from West Point Airport, and it blew an engine at about 1,000 feet. So they weren't at an altitude where they could do an emergency exit. And the plane flipped over and crashed. He was killed. I knew 2 other jumpers on that plane. They were all killed. So all 10 jumpers and the pilot were killed. And 3 weeks later, they had a commemoration for all the jumpers, and I came down and went over to West Point, and we made a memorial skydive in their honor. And Ches, his wife, wanted his ashes spread from the plane as we flew. So they were some hard times for me to get through. All right, well, that I don't want to spend a lot of time on that because I do want you to see the video. So you'll,
When are you gonna do questions?
yeah, let me do
Now or later?
Yeah,
Let's do the video though.
Well,
yeah, see the video and then
then questions, okay.
All right, this is the first jump student. So we're up at altitude. You'll see Steve Hedrick. He's the jump master by the door, and I'm kind of behind it, pilot seat. I'm the other jump master. This is the first jump student. Wait for the pilot to tell him, okay, I'll open the door to spot here for me. Imagine yourself being a student. It's the 10,000 feet. Give it a pilot interaction. Speed out after that. To this day, I don't know where that music came from. It's hard going.
Okay.
You'll see it go up, down, go. And I say, okay. Up, down. Let's take it.
Did arch?
First thing he does is he checks with the jump master, make sure everything's okay. We communicate via hand signals.
Go from back in.
Free practice pulls.
That's you on the right, right?
Got to keep in the cap. See the jump master on the left, point to him, that means pull. Shake. Check with him, okay? Check, oh, there's the full thing. Stumble around a little bit. Oh, come on, don't be surprised.
They at this point.
About 3,000 feet, a little high, because Stu's a little higher. What's that?
Jump back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you
Jump
get
back,
go right down.
head down, then kind of, then take another speed. That's the airport. And just north of that is Leonard County Army Base. Want to get to Disney? Chuck. Take a lesson. Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the training program. They teach you on that. See the travelers over there, I had a traveler there, so I spent a weekend up there on some vacation.
Sorry.
Who is that?
That's the other drum. That's the other drum. Oh, sorry, that's me. Has a radio receiver in his helmet. There's somebody down the ground talking to him, telling him to turn right, turn left, put your brakes on.
It's up.
Yeah.
How do you determine, I see that it's hand. Well, I don't have one. How do you?
Well, there's two toggles, left turn, right there. You come in for a landing, it's like a plane. You pull down on both toggles to slow it down. This is the land, Florida. I was down there in the winter of 1990. This is called a dirt dive. We're practicing what we're going to do up here. We were up here. This is the flat jump. Your car will find very early morning in Chambersburg, with 2 hot air balloons out there. What else is gonna do? Drop. Load up.
I'll go to that home.
That's all Jay. Steve right there.
Where you going, Dave?
We use this number.
Good morning, Mike. What bad news,
First thing in the morning when it's cool, it's the best time to plant the fire. Makes it rise. Somebody take that picture. Yeah. Yeah, we actually have a guy doing the video, he'll jump out too, man.
Going around, getting that side down, then we get a good shot up for you.
Jump out of the balloon. We got to around 5,000 feet. Right in the trails. I mean, that there.
Okay, I'm not sure what the ground level is here, guys. You know, right, so just. So you just like, green light, red light, right on the truck. No, all right, good, I got one ready to go.
No, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Scott down. There you go. Anytime you get it.
Hi, guys, I'm scared.
Scott.
Go. That's actually getting the first.
You guys want to say that? I'm gonna give him one. Oh, okay.
All right, Tom, next. He's gonna go.
All right. Anytime I get told that, or something like that, don't move until you hear the air getting real loud. It's going down. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't that look weird? Yeah. My there you go.
I don't know if you'll see it, but the video is being coming out. Step. They chase the balloon.
Yeah.
Was that in general or was that in general? Just right up here. Oh, I spooked some horses.
You scared me. I found Larry, but I couldn't find you.
Well, Jim said, hey, get the other guy. I got Chuck with another balloon. I laughed, yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know why. No, I don't know where he went. Well, I told him to stay close to the mall on the road. Usually guys were all very close to each other out there.
Yeah. Nora?
My bad.
Up in here to see.
Well, how you do it? I said, land, I showed him where the mall was. Maybe it was both.
Oh, man. Now for something completely different.
Sure looks like it.
An old abandoned railroad Russell out in Bushwick, Pennsylvania. There I am.
I'm good with Jack. Oh. What? Very well. Very well.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I'm glad you showed this to us after you were president.
Yeah. And no one dared me to do any of this. That's kind of a real short look at what I did when I was a little crazier. Yeah.
Did you ever have a horrifying moment when you were in trouble?
Yeah, we have reserve parachutes. So I had 6 reserve rides where the main parachute had problems. So had 2 where we split like this with other jumpers. We opened, we had a little bit of line twist, and then we ended up facing each other and colliding. And twice that happened, and my parachute got wrapped around the legs of the other jumper. And I looked up, can't fix that. So I looked up, I said, I'm cutting away. So there's a cutaway handle. You pull that, and that releases the main parachute, and then you pull the reserve parachute. So twice that happened. And then 4 other times I had what's called a malfunction of the main parachute. One was a line over. Usually it's something wrong and the parachute's starting to swing wildly. So again, cut away and ride the reserve down. So you get 2 chances in skydiving.
Doesn't attract me.
It's not like when you're driving out on a highway.
So, follow-up question. Do our armed forces people have backup?
Yes.
Yes.
I have 14 jumps.
Oh, keep that to yourself.
That's what
Yeah.
Oh,
But
do you ever have a scary jump like him?
you see where these are the square parachutes, they're called sporting parachutes. Even up to that time, military were still jumping the old round parachute.
Yeah, dash.
Yes, but I think now they're starting.
They got
to
dash
jump.
ones.
Yeah,
They still got the round parachutes,
right,
except
sure.
for like the
yeah.
Golden Knights and stuff like that. You know.
Now, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. The Golden Knights would come up. That's the Army jumping team. They would come up to Chambersburg, like maybe once every 3 years or so, and spend time with us. And I got to jump with the Golden Knights.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. And they're a great bunch of guys too. And top skydiving sport competitors. They win awards out the wazoo. Bill will probably tell you about that. And like I said, the owner of the drop zone, Al Ramondo, he was career military, career Army. He was in the 82nd Airborne and he was an Army Ranger.
You got a question over here.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, I would not do this, but I'm just saying, I think you're a little crazy, even in your classes, because A is for excellent and it's a D.
Yeah,
And you D, I can see you're a little crazy people.
yeah, I should have reversed that.
Careful when you're jumping out.
Any other questions? Last question. Chuck, you know the drill. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very, very much. Your name will go on Huber the Great as far as I'm concerned. And thank
All
you
right,
for a very good story.
all right, and just don't put I dare you.
Would you do it today?
Would I do it? Yeah, I would, yeah. But the thing with what happened to me was in 2000, I injured my back, not skydiving. It was actually a winter day. There was ice. And I went up to get some salt for the ice on my driveway. And the only thing they had were 100-pound bags. And I picked up the 100-pound bag and something snapped in my back. And then I had to get it in the car. So I had to get it out of the cart and in there. And then when I got home, I had to get it out of the trunk and into the garage. and my back was a mess for over a year. And if you don't jump with a student in within a 1 year time frame, you have to take your classes all over again.
And you couldn't arch your back then.
No, no.
Oh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Rotary pledge. Is it the truth? Is it fair? Will it be beneficial? And stand.
Will we have some?
Remember, service of oneself, ladies and gentlemen.
Ken, you know, that's $5 fine.
That's for students.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah.